I said there's always someone that's going to have a moment, right? In a game 7, winner take all game. They had a couple, from one of their big name guys between Julio, Cal, and Josh. So you never really know. So in the moment, I've seen Georgie hit some homers, and I was just hoping that he got enough of it. And when he did, you kind of look around and you see players and coaches reacting the way they did. Kind of surreal in the moment when you're witnessing a historic swing for the organization.
Chiefs.
Listen, I'm proud of our guys for how they played. They came out all 3 phases, and I thought really did a nice job against a team that was getting better each week before we had this chance to play them. So it was they just come off a nice win and had some momentum going there. And I thought our guys came out and really were able to stay aggressive, both defensively and offensively from the start, and which I thought was important.
Good morning, Kansas City. This is New Day with SSJ on Sports Radio 810 WHB. It's Tuesday, October 21st. You think I'm slipping? You think you can sneak that one past me? I don't think so. I'm sharp, buddy. You can do that to me.
Early morning test.
I looked twice. I thought about it for a second.
21st.
October 21st. It has been verified. 2025. Stephen St. John here with Nate Bukaty, Jake Gutierrez. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. It is a good morning. And on this morning, we'll talk to Kansas head football coach Lance Leipold. The Sunflower Showdown takes place in Lawrence at 11 a.m. on Saturday. This is a big one.
All right, the Sunflower Showdown.
This is a big one. All right. No backup from Jake or Nate, but I'll say it's
nothing
a big
else
one.
needed to be added. It's a big one. That's true.
Kansas looking for its first win against Kansas State since 2008.
I was at that game. Remember it?
But Kansas has been knocking on the door. Last season, 29-27. 2023, 31-27. And everything is set up for them to perhaps end the streak. But K-State looks like they're playing some better ball, so it's not going to be easy.
Yeah, they've been improving.
It's not going to be easy. But, I mean, what else could you ask for? You've got the home game, 11 a.m. kickoff. Both teams come in with a 2-2 conference record. And you've got – you'll never – I could say this. I can't sit here and say, oh, you'll never have a better chance of beating K-State. You'll never have a more veteran quarterback in this matchup.
Unless they keep changing the rules, I guess,
Right, unless he comes back next year. But I feel like you'll never have a more veteran, experienced quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Especially, I mean, If you look at just, you might get a quarterback that's a veteran that's been to other schools, but I find it hard to believe you'll have a quarterback that has played more games for Kansas. Right? I mean,
that would be hard to do.
Right.
Would be very hard to do. He's in his 6th year, I believe.
it'd be a while before that happened.
Yeah.
So we'll talk to Lance Leipold about that. Both teams coming off the bye week. Kansas coming off the loss to Texas Tech. They're 4-3, 2-2 in the conference, as I mentioned. I'm so confused. What the hell is the line? Jake gave us a line, and then John Kirby refuted his line.
John Kirby was right.
And then
That's what it opened up at.
So what is it like right this second as we live and breathe?
As we live and breathe.
Right.
So it opened up at 2.5. And as we live and breathe, it is Kansas -3.
Kansas favored by 3.
ESPN's saying 2.5.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking at DraftKings. And so if I wanted to go gamble on this game right as we speak, right now,
Gotcha.
DraftKings is going to say you get -3 or +3.
And look, I know that K-State normally isn't in this boat, but K-State, I mean, they could still make a bowl game if they don't win this game, but it would be increasingly difficult because they're 3-4 right now. They leave Lawrence 3-5, then they've got their work cut out for them. In Kansas, they'd be 4-4. I mean, you still have some work to do if you lost this game, but Kansas wins 5-3, then I would suggest go get a bowling shirt because you're going bowling. Much like you and your Instagram picture.
I did go bowling at St. John the Baptist on Sunday.
You'd rather go this kind of bowling, though, I bet.
Well, I love St. John the Baptist, but yeah, it would be nice to go to a bowl game.
Yes.
as a
Would
KU
you rather
fan.
go bowling on a Sunday afternoon or go bowling with Kansas this year?
Bowling with Kansas?
There it is.
So think about this. I think if you want to be optimistic as a KU fan about the fact that they're 4-3,
Jake said he does.
I do.
the combined record of the 3 teams they've lost to is
I have no idea.
18-2.
Good.
It's pretty good.
18-2.
I mean, Texas undefeated, Mizzou only lost to Alabama.
Yeah, and Cincinnati's only lost once.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't know what it all means, but those are not like bad losses. I mean, obviously they got blown out by Texas Tech, who's blown out everybody, but they were in the other 2 games, So I don't know what it all means.
It means your strength of schedule is pretty high.
Pretty tough.
Right.
Pretty tough.
We'll talk to Lance Leipold at 6:30. Then former Chiefs wide receiver Mark Bowrichter will be on the show with us. Get his thoughts on what he saw from the offense against the Raiders. Also, I'd like to get his thoughts on what he saw from the Raiders offense. Which first down was his favorite? Which of the 3? We could probably ask him which yard they gained was his favorite out of the 95 they gained. We could probably go through all of their yards between now and 10 o'clock if people want. I don't want to, but we could. Jeff Chadilla from NFL Network and NFL.com will be with us in the 8 o'clock hour. Jeff Kerr from CBSSports.com, who was reporting yesterday that Brandon Graham will return from his retirement and rejoin the Philadelphia Eagles. And then we're going to geek out a little bit at 9:30. Jake and I are pretty excited about this guest. And so roll with us because, we love our TV shows. We love our TV shows. And one of our favorite actors who seems to pop up in almost every one of our favorite TV shows, or a lot of them, is a gentleman by the name of Jamie McShane, and he is turning into one of the best villains on TV. And you've heard us raving about this show that was on HBO, Task, And the season finale, the fabulous season finale, was just this Sunday night. And Jamie McShane was the villain. He was one of them, but he was pretty much the main guy.
Yeah, one of the main villains.
Perry.
The head of the main villain, bad guy.
Of the Black Hearts motorcycle gang. And he was also one of the main villains in 1923. He's been in so many great shows. And so he's going to be on the show with us at 9:30. We've been exchanging text messages with him. Very excited about this. If anyone watches the show Wednesday.
Yep, watch that with my daughter.
He's Sheriff Galpin.
Yep.
So he's in Wednesday. He's in, I love The Lincoln Lawyer. He's in that show. CSI Vegas, Animal Kingdom.
Love that show.
I love Bosch. I've talked about Bosch many times. He was a recurring character on Bosch. I mean, Southland, a whole just show after show. Great show after great show. And so we're excited to have him on this show. Add this show to the list. Bloodline. Man. What's going on here?
It's the theme to Task.
He was in the Academy Award-winning film Mank. He was in Gone Girl. He was in Argo. He was Agent Jackson in The Avengers. What else do you? I mean, what the hell else do you want? But man, was he good in Task. Boy, oh boy. We waited a day so I could be fresh and locked in and watch the finale last night. What a tremendous show. They don't make TV shows. And you know what? Someone said they don't make TV shows like this anymore. And I'm like, they literally do because they.
That's what it is.
Right. They just made
finished
this.
Making it.
Interesting tidbit that after I researched his career and some other things last night, he actually filmed Task before he filmed 1923. How about that?
How so?
Well, we'll find out at 9:30, huh? So it happens when you do your little research over here. I'm ready. I'm prepared. All right?
Wow.
Was that a wow moment for you that I just gave you?
Well, that means they must have had that in the can for a while.
Had you in the can for a while.
I was in the can for a
Yeah.
while.
Well,
Like 20 years.
Wow. Well, that's a lot, what you just said.
long time.
So Jamie McShane, if you've been watching the show Task, tune in there.
Played Perry. Pear.
Yeah, because he has some, I read a couple of different interviews and some other articles and some great insight into the filming of it and his relationship with the actor that played Jason, his mentee, the fight scene with Mark Ruffalo in the cabin where he bit Mark Ruffalo. Because Mark Ruffalo is an accomplished wrestler. How about that? So I don't know. A lot of good stuff there. I'm excited for that.
You got a pretty big smile on your
Yeah.
face right now.
I love that show. The boy, Susan was mad. She was, wait a minute. From 1923.
Yeah, right. No, he's like one of the worst. I mean,
So-
like, he used to make me so angry.
Well, yeah.
Anytime he was on screen, I'd be
Right.
like, when is somebody going to take this
Right.
guy out? This guy's the worst.
Yeah.
I mean, he was.
And I'm going to tell him. I'm going to tell him you were mad at him,
I'll
Susan.
tell him.
Just don't tell him I was mad at him. I said, I don't want him to feel bad. I said, no, he'll feel good because he's a villain.
That's his job.
I know.
He's turned into one of the best villains. And
he
so
should feel bad if you
wants
say,
that.
I liked your character, very likable.
He wants that very much.
No, it's like you see him on screen and you start getting angry. Like,
Oh, now, if you see him turn up in a TV show, I go, what's this guy going to do? Oh, here we
yeah,
go.
This is a bad
Things
guy.
just got real. What's this guy going to do?
Yep.
Son of a gun.
He got taken out in well, I don't want to give it away.
Man, don't, what are you giving it away for?
I'm not giving no spoilers. I didn't say what show I was talking about.
Right. Well, have you seen Task?
Watched all of them.
Did you really?
No.
Well, he did. I mean, you're accurate.
I mean, yeah, you could probably say that about most of his
Yeah,
characters.
you're rooting for him to get taken out, and
Right.
at some point he'll get taken out.
Yeah.
Right.
Nothing lasts forever.
Like the Raiders got taken out.
Wow.
On Sunday.
Oh man, I saw a great exchange at the airport when I was flying out of town on Friday.
Yeah.
I was waiting in line at the Southwest, and this guy that's decked out, they're like deboarding the plane in front of us so that we're getting ready to get on this plane. People getting off it, and this guy's decked out. He looks like a Chiefs super fan, and he's walking into the gate, and we're all standing there.
Was he a Chiefs super fan?
He might have been, but I didn't recognize him as one of the famous ones or whatever. But he stops, he takes a deep breath, and he goes, "Oh, it's good to be back in the city of champions. I can smell the championships. Woo!" And then he walks off, and we're all kind of like, okay, that was weird. And then right after that, you hear a couple people yelling, "Raiders!" And a couple Raiders fans come off, and they're being, hooping and hollering and being loud. And we were all kind of just like, well, they're sure confident for being a terrible team forever. Mm-hmm. And as they're walking out, the lady that's doing the gate check, on the
CB,
the CB on the speaker
overhead
system,
speaker.
She says, "Welcome to Kansas City, Raiders fans. We look forward to our trip out to Vegas later this year to Arrowhead West, where we enjoy winning all the time."
That's right.
And then everybody started cheering in the airport.
Winning
it was awesome.
Super Bowls there.
So she was very popular.
Now, what day was this?
That was on Friday.
Those Raiders fans probably gained more yards walking to their car than the Raiders did.
No doubt.
Sunday.
No doubt.
Boy, last night, ALCS Game 7 between the Blue Jays and the Mariners was one for the ages. And I was watching, was multitasking. I was trying to help my daughter with her English homework, and as an English major, I think I had way too many I don't knows for her, which was embarrassing. Like, you know what? I don't know. I'm not sure what your teacher's asking you there, but okay. Let's read more poetry. But between that and keeping my eye on the Monday Night Football games, I was watching the ALCS Game 7. And look, the Royals have a history with Toronto, don't really have a history with Seattle. And I was rooting for Seattle because they've never made it to the World Series. And I thought it would be cool to see them in the World Series. And for a while, it looked like we were going to see them in the World Series because they were up 3-1 in the 7th inning. And you're thinking, man, now they can start counting outs, And until George Springer hit a dramatic 3-run home run in the 7th to give the Blue Jays the 43 lead that they would never relinquish. And I like, Springer's a stud. I mean, that's 23 postseason home runs in his career.
Wow.
So one of the most prolific home run hitters in postseason history. Banged up knee, as you heard the call describe. And I just... Well, who was... I didn't even look who was on the text thread. I know Scott Carroll was on there, and I was not pleased with the decision by manager Dan Wilson to take Brian Wu out because this, Jake, Brian Wu, a very loyal member of the Bada Bings for a couple of years, and he was one of the best pitchers in the American League this year. I know he's been banged up. But if I take him out, I'm going to Munoz, and that's not what happened. And I just had a bad feeling. I had a bad feeling when they brought in a guy that had pitched 2 innings the night before and had faced Springer the night before, and he looked good, but still, he's I don't know. I just didn't like it. I'm no expert on Seattle Mariners baseball, but I just felt like, look, hey, Wu was his own worst enemy. Walk a guy and give up a hit, Then he got an out with the bunt. And so maybe it was the right decision to take him out, but I'd have gone to Munoz and not Bizzardo. But it's easy to second guess. But I was, at that moment, as I was watching the game with Selena, I said, this ain't going to end well. Just didn't, and you're listening to the broadcast crew. He pitched 2 innings last night, faced Springer, so Springer gets another look at him. Like, you got a lot of different fireballers in that bullpen you can go to here. And with Munoz, I get it. What they were trying to do was get to the 8th. He had barely pitched. I think they had said he'd only thrown 19 pitches in the ALCS. And I get it. You're trying to get to the 8th inning in the hopes that he's going to pitch the 8th and the 9th because he's their guy, right? But man, it's 2nd and 3rd and 1 out, and you're holding him for a situation that may never get there. I felt like this is the game right here. This is it. It's 2nd and 3rd with 1 out and Springer's up.
High leverage.
This is it.
Yeah,
the highest.
Right? If you don't get through this, there's no game to save. And I just feel like, yeah, smoke him if you got him, man. Go.
Yeah.
Who's your best guy? Who's your best guy right now? Munoz. Get him out there. Don't play with your food. And so I can easily be talked out of leaving Wu in the game. Some people were mad that they brought him back for a 3rd inning. But in that situation, with the game on the line, I mean, you're gonna go to Munoz. Go to him then. He's rested. He hadn't pitched very much. What are you saving him for? He's got a lot of. Guess what? Got a lot of rest now. He got a lot of time off now. So I'd have gone. That's just me, but whatever. Jake's nodding. I don't know if he's.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And that is you, Lebo, and Scott Carroll on that.
Okay, I was 15 things going on, and I don't want to say I was mad because I like Springer, and that was a great moment, and what a great crowd reaction that was.
Oh, that place was
like wow! I'm glad I'm watching. This is great.
Right.
But I was like, oh, Seattle,
right.
Oh, Seattle, you had it.
Remain the only team not to make a World Series.
Woo,
man.
But boy, that was a moment, though, wasn't it?
Whew, yeah.
When Springer hit that home run, what a moment.
You kind of felt. I mean, I flipped it over. You felt it. You felt
you
it coming.
felt it. And I felt. I don't know why. Just like
right.
Bizarro. Like I was like, oh no, this is not the guy. No.
Right. Yeah.
Gone.
2 pitches.
Yeah, I don't know.
That atmosphere was crazy too.
It was great.
It brought back memories. It was like I was thinking about the Alex Gordon home run and being in the building for that.
Yep.
And I am a fan of Vladimir Guerrero Jr., and he won the ALCS MVP, and I love his story, and, so good for him. And we'll see if the Blue Jays offense can overcome the tremendous pitching of the LA Dodgers. At least that's a compelling matchup, right? Like, you got this badass offense who can go off on anyone versus the Dodgers pitching that has been historically fantastic in this postseason. So for a baseball geek, that's fun to watch. All right. We'll get into NFL, Chiefs, what happened on Monday Night Football last night when we get Mark Bo-Richter in here. But up next, we'll talk to Kansas head football coach Lance Leipold. I bet he's watching the baseball game. He's a big baseball fan. You know that?
Yeah, he's a big Brewers guy, right?
Yeah, right. But he still loves the baseball. We'll take a break. Back after this on WHB. Man, I could use some Joe's Kansas City barbecue today. Well, maybe that's my move. Joe's Kansas City barbecue should always be your move when you're looking to have some delicious barbecue, and especially when you're looking to pair it with some football, whether it's Friday Night Lights or Saturday game days, and, of course, Red Sundays and coming up Red Mondays. Nothing goes better with football than Joe's KC Barbecue. Joe's Championship Barbecue is perfect for your pregame tailgate or watch party. Joe's smoked brisket, burnt ends, pulled pork, are all available by the pound and teamed up with great sides like dirty rice or barbecue beans or Joe's Famous mac and cheese. Can't ever forget about the fries or the rings. Love them. That makes for a game-winning meal. So order online for curbside pickup at joeskc.com or download that Joe's To Go app. It's so easy to order. And when you go to Joe's Kansas City Barbecue, please tell them Stephen St. John sent you. Welcome back to New Day with SSJ on Sports Radio 810 WHB. I forgot to mention that the most irritating thing about the game last night was Julio Rodriguez swinging at ball 4, ball 5, and robbing us of Cal Raleigh being up at the plate with a chance to tie the game or take the lead. Didn't everyone want to see that? The guy that's hit 65 home runs, including the postseason, the most in American League history, if you include the postseason. We could have had that against Hoffman with the game on the line. Instead of J-Rod.
Like we were robbed.
J-Rod's like, I got this.
I'll take care of this.
I'll swing at everything. Let's talk to Kansas head football coach Lance Leipold. Coach, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, gentlemen. Doing well. How are you?
Doing very well. We got Nate. It's Sunflower Showdown week when Nate Bukaty's in here.
You know it's something big when Nate's in the building.
Well, that's normally what we know. And this is big. Look, this is a game that obviously has gone K-State's way for a while, but it feels like, these teams are evenly matched. Both teams have a 2-2 conference record. You've got this game at home, 11 a.m. kickoff, and so there's a lot of excitement on both sides of this matchup. Obviously, K-State wants to continue the streak, and for Kansas fans, like the guys that are sitting here in front of me, they would be celebrating for many, many hours and days if Kansas can pull off the win. I know we've talked about this before, but for you as a head coach, how do you handle this series? The games have been close. You haven't been able to get over the hump, but a golden opportunity to end the streak this Saturday.
Yeah, there's a lot to that as we've gone through. I can remember year one here, blowout loss. You kind of talk about rivalries, and I think at that time I had said that, in order for rivalries to sustain and do certain things, the games need to be close, and it's our responsibility to play at a level that make the games closer, and I think we've done that better each and every year and had opportunities and haven't finished. And when you play in these type of games, it gets down to those details and the small things that you got to make sure you play well and close things out. So again, that's still going to be our focus. That we've got to be sharp and execute in all three phases because they're well coached. They have a lot of talent on their team. I think everyone know where they thought preseason type of recognition of what they had. And they still have that type of ability, and then shown the flashes that can occur, that they can be one of the best teams in the Big 12 Conference when they have everybody on the field and executing at a high level.
Coach, I don't know how much time you spent. I'm curious, looking back at you mentioned the last two games have been very close, and so a close game like that can always come down. You can point back to a fumble late in the game or a mistake here or there. Do you look back at those games much and say, hey, guys, if we clean this and this up, we win? Or do you just kind of, that's in the past, let's focus on this game? How do you handle that?
Sometimes some of each, to be quite honest, kind of went through here in the last 24 hours and watched every special teams snap that we've played against them since we've been here, and to see the things, especially in that area, that we haven't executed in well, that has helped lead to defeat, to be quite honest, that no matter if something has happened early in the ball game or late in the ball game, all those things. And I think I've said also is that if you put so much on these young men and do things, guys aren't going to play loose and free and aggressive. You don't want to be too tight, but again, or put too much on the one game or whatnot, because I think it can have diminishing returns. But at the same time, this group knows that it's been a while since Kansas has won this game, and the importance of what it does in many different things, but also what it'll do for this group in its season. And I think we have a pretty good mindset heading into this thing.
All right, for this matchup, obviously the quarterbacks are going to play a gigantic role for both teams. And Avery Johnson, the K-State quarterback, man, when he plays well, they're tough to beat. And it seems like in some of the games that they've lost, he hasn't run the balls effectively. And then some of the games that he's won, he's been more willing to get out there and try to make something happen with his legs. When you look at him and the unique challenges that he presents as a quarterback. Just what are your thoughts about going up against Avery Johnson, a real dual threat?
Yeah, extremely dual threat, extremely explosive, dynamic player that is extremely dangerous, and the games that he has been, I guess, more on the aggressive side of taking the ball and creating things and with first downs, whether it be designed run or after a designed pass. He extends drives, he extends plays. I would imagine that he'll be running freely as far as no barriers on him in a game like this, and extremely dangerous. And you put, I said this yesterday in our press conference, you put Jace Browning and Dylan Edwards on the field, all those guys at the same time, it is probably as dynamic and has as much speed as anybody in the Big 12, and really can hold up with a lot of people nationally as far as dynamic playmakers. So it'll be a huge challenge for our defense.
Lance Leipold's our guest, and for you, Coach, of course, your quarterback, Jalen Daniels, he's been part of the program for so long and been part of what you've done to try to turn this program around and create a winning culture. And this is the kid that, so many people love him, and he means so much to the program. This would be, when you talk about legacy and how he leaves the program, to be the guy that's, I helped stop the streak, that would be something. And it's more than that. Like you said, it's one game, but to have that on his resume and to be able to ultimately leave Kansas with that notch in his belt, that would be huge for him, wouldn't it?
It would be. It would be, I guess, when you look at boxes to check and accomplishments in one's career, and he's done so much for this place, and he's played extremely well this season for us. It would be huge, and again, I think he knows that. He knows what this game is and everything, and I think he's played well to this point. We didn't protect him real well 2 weeks ago, but a lot of that is not under his control. There's times that we do need to get rid of the ball and huddle up again. But I know, again, he's done a great job distributing the ball and balancing things out as best we can. And I think, we need Jalen Daniels to play well for us to have a chance to be successful on Saturday morning.
Coach, you already touched on how dynamic the running game is for K-State. How do you guys improve defensively against the run? And I would assume that's been something you've really worked on the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, again, I've said this all the time, is that, we have a lot to improve there. Our coaches know it, our players understand it. And if it was a positional group, if it was a type of call, if it was something, it's an all the above type thing, is, keeping gap integrity, playing with right technique, communicating calls, doing those things. Again, as coaches, we examine all our calls and what we're doing and what we can do better in situations. But, we've given up some unneeded explosive plays, and as early as first play of the game, just by not being gap sound and what we have to do and things like that. So we worked hard on that. We want to continue to be an aggressive, fundamental team that's going to tackle well. We're going to need to tackle well against athletes like this on Saturday. So all those things have been a point of emphasis, and continue work on communication throughout the defense.
How healthy did your team get in the bye week?
We're decent, Stephen. I'd say we're good. And when you say everybody's got something going on this time of year, not where we completely like to be on a few guys. First report will come out tomorrow, but again, I think we'll be in good shape. I don't want to say in great shape yet as we work through it, and we've been kind of keep pressing through there with guys, and again, for guys who have missed time since our last game in practice, then you got to worry about reps and are they as sharp as they need to be, or does the backup need to play?
When you're playing a big rivalry game like this, how do you like the 11 o'clock kickoff?
Yeah, it is. I don't know if it fits the one that you'd want in a game like this. I think that's probably what you're alluding to. But again, there's so much. Television will dictate a lot of these. Chris Kleiman and I have kind of had small conversations about whether it be kickoff times or week of the year that this game is even played. That could still be that could also be analyzed as well. but we got to play when they tell us, and we'll be excited about getting that thing kicked off.
Is there something to it that? Because it was funny. I was listening to different Chiefs players talk in the locker room because they don't play at noon very much anymore at home. And it's like they woke up and they're like, oh, the game's getting ready to start. Sneaking up on us. Is there something to it where you don't have to? I mean, the players don't have to sit around or wait around all day. They get up, get ready, and it's time to go.
Yeah, that's great, Stephen. That part of it's really good. Again, when you deal with just kind of a small thing. Okay, we want a lot of recruits at this game. We got a lot of people, but high school football teams a lot of times will have Saturday morning meetings with their players and trying to do things, and sometimes, of course, families that want to come to games have youth activities Saturday morning. So there's a lot of things that go into it. But on the positive, what you're saying, we're a morning practice team. There's something about getting up and getting it kicked off and getting things going that is definitely a benefit, and that we do enjoy. I think we're a sport we're very repetitive in building habits in what we do, and whatever we can do towards the end of the week with whether it goes from our Friday meetings, our meetings at the hotel, to Saturday morning routines, to getting going, whatever we can do to keep that the same, I think us as coaches and our team feel a lot better about those routines when they stay similar.
And we just got to get those students up early. You know what I mean? They got to wake up because they got to be loud. They got to bring that atmosphere.
Or never go to bed.
There you go. I like that. I like that plan.
If you need someone to come in and talk to him, Jake can do that because he can give you some pointers.
We'll put Jake in charge of to get him going and keep him going.
Absolutely, Coach.
Yep,
Count me in.
He knows all the secrets.
Oh boy, something tells me that talk would be a one and done, and then never bring him back. Well, Coach, we appreciate the time, and I think it's going to be one hell of a game. And of course, everyone can tune into it right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB on Saturday. Good luck against Kansas State, Coach. We'll talk about it next week.
Sounds great, guys. Appreciate it once again. You guys have a great week. Rock Chalk.
That's Lance Leipold. And I'm going to ask you the question, Nate Bukaty and Jake Gutierrez. Who has more pressure to win this game, K-State or KU?
KU.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I think so.
I saw someone...
but pressure's a privilege.
Someone that writes about KU on social media says K-State. All the pressure's on K-State. Everyone thinks we're going to win. If somehow they lose the game, and boy, their season's really...
Well, I think there's pressure on both because of the second part of that. I don't know that everybody thinks K-State's going to win if KU's a favorite right now.
Right. Well, Vegas does it, but just right. I guess like K-State people.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks there's going to be
whatever
KU because they always do.
fan base you're rooting for. You feel like your team has more pressure.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Kansas State fans think their team has more pressure on them, and I think, which team do you think? I mean, you're an innocent viewer of that.
I'm not innocent.
You're a neutral.
Yeah. I'm a viewer. I'm not innocent.
Never been
innocent bystander.
It's a good question. That's why I ask it, because I can see it both ways. Like for K-State, like you don't want to be the team that lets the streak end.
Yeah.
And they've had a tough start to the season. If they win this game, they keep that streak up, and then they can get back to business. And build momentum, especially coming off that win against TCU. If they lose this game, can you imagine how pissed off the fan base would be?
Irate.
I mean, seriously.
Especially with they came in, they were a top 25 preseason.
And then you're looking like we might not even make a bowl game, and we lost to Kansas, and the streak's over.
A lot of people thought this team would be in the Big 12 championship.
Woo.
Yeah.
But for Kansas, and I've said this, and I'm not just trying to poke at Jake or whatever, but I mean this. When's it going to be a better setup than this? You're at home, an 11 a.m. kickoff. The teams look evenly matched. And that's what Vegas says, right? If it's a 3-point spread, that means give 3 points for home field advantage, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You've got a quarterback. We joke about it, but when will you ever have a more experienced quarterback that won't be rattled in a game like this? It's like everything's lined up. K-State is not as good as they've been. Everything's lined up. Like, okay, Kansas and the streak, here you go.
That's
silver platter. Because then next year in Manhattan, who knows who your quarterback's going to be? All kinds of crazy variables. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But, like,
absolutely.
so the pressure's like,
yeah.
you know,
And
if
and
not win, if not now, then win.
Yeah.
If not him, then who?
Right.
That's what Mark Bowrick
Both
says.
those things.
Right.
But last year they blew the game. They had it and they blew it.
Huh?
And they've been close 2 years in a row. So I think that from that standpoint, it's like, okay, we need to. Being close was a big step, but now it's been close. You got to take the next step. But I don't look at pressure as a negative thing. Right. I say pressure is a privilege. There's pressure because you're good enough to beat them now.
Dude.
There was no pressure back when you were getting your ass kicked by him every year because you knew you were going to get your ass kicked by him. Now you're good enough to win, so go do it.
Hey, everybody, don't be calling me on Saturday. I'm sitting at home. I ain't doing nothing but watching 11 a.m. Kansas State, and then 2:30 Mizzou Vanderbilt with College Game Day in Nashville. That's a doubleheader. Partner. Don't be calling me. What you doing? Leave me alone.
Oh, man.
Everybody leave me alone.
My godson is a sophomore at Vanderbilt right now.
I hope he cries himself to sleep on Saturday night. We'll take a break. Back after this on WHB. That was mean. I'm sorry. I do, though. I really do. He'll get over it. He's young. I'm old. I need this. Steven St. I really do. That's the sad part. Stephen St. John here for Big Brothers Big Sisters. Right now, hundreds of kids in Kansas City are waiting for a mentor. Be a part of Big Brothers Big Sisters, KC's biggest challenge yet. 60 bigs in 60 minutes on October 28th. All right? Help celebrate 60 years of BBB SKC by recruiting 60 new mentors in 1 power hour. Together, we can change 60 young lives and make Kansas City history. Littles with a mentor are 20% more likely to attend college. Littles report a 71% increase in self-esteem after joining the program. If you're 21 or older and live in the KC metro area, you could be a big. We especially need big brothers and big couples to mentor waiting little brothers. So let's get this done. All right? And you could even win a $350 Visa gift card just for signing up. It only takes a minute. And you could end up changing a life. Be one of 60. Sign up or pre-register now at bbbskc.org/60in60. bbbskc.org/60in60. Welcome back to New Day with SSJ on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Thank you very much for joining us. We appreciate it. Today, I'm going to be at Kansas City Credit Union from 12 until 2 to celebrate their 85th anniversary. Food trucks. I believe there's going to be a pumpkin patch. Maybe I'll
Love
get
a pumpkin patch.
Get a nice pumpkin for myself, for the family. It'd be wonderful. And so I will be at Kansas City Credit Union, not too far from the stadiums off Eastwood Traffic Way today from 12 until 2. I'll be there from 12 until 2. Don't get it twisted. 5110 Ararat Drive, just off 435 and Eastwood Traffic Way. And then tonight I'll be emceeing Creed Humphrey's charity event at Boulevard to benefit harvesters. And so I'll see Creed Humphrey and some of the Chiefs offensive linemen, and hopefully collecting a bunch of money and goods for harvesters. A wonderful cause tonight with Creed Humphrey. And our friends, Jake, our great friends at Boulevard. So looking forward to that. Mark,
event.
That's exactly right. Mark Borichter, former Chiefs wide receiver, is here. Hello, Mark. How are you?
Doing all right. How are you guys?
Who's going to win, Kansas or Kansas State?
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. Right into the fire, buddy.
Yeah. No, that's fine. I think Kansas.
Okay. Missouri or Vanderbilt?
Not to play to the audience in the studio here.
Do it.
Since I already picked Kansas.
Do it.
I'll pick Missouri.
I like the way you think. I like it. I like it a lot. That's good. I'm glad that they're not at the same time, because I want to enjoy watching both games.
Yeah.
So that's,
staggered nicely.
My wife's not going to enjoy that, but
The
she
KU
likes
game will
watching
probably be in the
Mizzou.
fourth quarter about the time the Mizzou game kicks off, huh?
I don't
About
know.
right.
Who knows? Hey, man, maybe something happens like happened on Sunday. That was a quick game against the Raiders.
That was.
They had a running clock in the second half, right?
That thing was rolling, baby.
I almost, when Jake texted me yesterday, just confirming everything for the normal time like usual, I almost been like, do we really need to talk about anything?
We do.
Because
We do.
talk about it.
Unfortunately, bad news because
yes.
Omar Norman Lott, as reported yesterday, tore his ACL, so his rookie year is over. And I mentioned this a couple of times yesterday. If you pair that with the reports from Diana Rossini, who normally has very good information for The Athletic, and she reported before the game that the Chiefs were not searching for a running back via trade, but they were making calls about defensive linemen. Well, if that was true before the game, it sure as hell is true now after they lose Omar Norman Lott for the year. So how and look, he was still growing into his role, but he certainly flashed so far several times in his rookie year.
Yeah, I know there were some people within the organization after the first couple of weeks that were clamoring for him to get more and more snaps, and that was starting to happen. You know, I think one of the things when you look at the offensive players or defensive players, and specifically young guys, it's always kind of a plan for the most part, unless you're, and I don't know, he was a higher or a lower round pick, higher round pick, however you want to look at it. That they tend to bring those guys along, not slowly, but with a plan, right? In terms of working them in, whether it be a Rashad Smith, a running back, whether it be him at defensive line, getting them comfortable moving forward, and transitioning into life of the National Football League. And, you know, you hate to see that happen to a guy that obviously they're high on, but seem to have already made an impact or starting to make an impact and really growing and starting to feel comfortable with an increased amount of snaps. And unfortunate situation for him. Probably a more unfortunate situation even for the Chiefs because now you're here in this scenario with not a ton of depth at the D-line position or quality depth maybe. And so they're probably going to have to look either to bring somebody in off the streets, right, or through a trade. And what's the deadline in here in a couple weeks now?
Yep.
I know it's been moved back a little bit more than what it has been in years past. So certainly not a great situation. And obviously in a game like that, you hate to see that happen too.
I think they're definitely going to make a trade.
Yeah.
I think they'll make a move.
Yeah, they need to. I mean, they need to. We saw what they were. You know, he looked like he was turning out to be a great draft pick, and and we know it was a position of need already.
Yeah.
You know, so
It's. I mean, they've got some work to do here still.
You're listening to Sports Radio 810 WHB in Kansas City, says Jake. So, in case you blacked out a couple minutes ago and you had no, where am I? What am I listening to? Now you know, see? Or maybe you never knew. You've just been driving around.
Yeah.
I don't know where I am, what I'm listening. Jake, that's happened before, haven't you?
the government wants to know. And
What am I doing in Spring Hill?
Right. What? Hello. Nope.
Where's my car?
Is it on?
Why is the sheriff's office calling me?
And we'll be right back after this on WHB.
Man, we just got a new shipment of Greengrass Cattle Company beef yesterday, and it's so delicious. We went out to Costco a few months ago and bought ourselves a deep freeze, so we have enough room for all the beef. And we're having my son's soccer team. Their season is ending this weekend, so we're gonna have a little get together at our house, and I'm gonna smoke a brisket and a whole bunch of hot dogs and hamburgers, and everything's gonna be delicious because it's all from Greengrass Cattle Company. When I started using my smoker, I was kind of intimidated to do briskets for a while because they can be complicated. They can take a long time. I love to get the brisket flat from Greengrass Cattle Company because it doesn't quite take quite as long to do. But the thing is with the beef at Greengrass Cattle Company, you almost can't screw it up because it's so good. People think you're just an amazing cook, but it's because of the ingredients. Greengrass Cattle Company, it's farm to table. They take immaculate care of their cattle. They feed them on the grains that they raise on their farm, and it's right there in western Missouri. It's the best beef you're ever going to have in your life, and they'll ship it right to your door. You just go to greengrasscattleco.com, or you can go see their store. It's a great time to go up to Weston. You know, if you want to go see all the fall festivities and the beautiful stuff that's going on in Weston, get up there and go to Greengrass Cattle Company. They've got an awesome store with all kinds of local stuff that you can buy there in addition to their amazing beef. But you can also just have them ship it right to your door. greengrasscattleco.com.
new day with SSJ is presented by Walker Medical.